Hello and welcome fellow girls, guys and gamers. This is Small Archangel. Welcome back to another episode of Rising World Survival, and we are all set up here to build our bunker. I've been doing a lot of mining off camera. It's taken me really quite a long time. This is partly why I hesitated to build a bunker, that and various other restrictions that we have in the game. Obviously, you know, mining, farming underground rather, even if we can actually do it, and I haven't tried, even if we can actually do it, it's a bit of an immersion breaker. Hydroponics not really being an option in game at the moment, and also, yeah, you miss out on all the light effects. You don't know what time of day it is, all that kind of thing. You don't get the views. But anyway, I did want the opportunity to use some of these lovely metal blocks here, which normally only get used just occasionally when I'm making a fridge or whatever, but all of these, you see, these are going to make good metal floors in our high-tech bunker, but we need iron ingots for those. Now, I've actually gone and I've picked some of those up from our previous bases, some iron ingots, that is, but we're going to need a heck of a lot more, so yours truly is going to be doing a lot of mining for iron and smelting and stuff off camera for this, but let me show you what I've done thus far. We've got our... It's very difficult mining as well, actually, because it's incredibly difficult to judge whether you're on the level or not, because you don't generally get a nice flat floor, obviously, or ceiling, or you know, none of the surfaces are particularly level in point of fact, as you can see. But what we have here is an enormous cavern, which I have mined out, which is anything but flat. I've done a bit of leveling on the floor using a tip that one of my subs gave me, which involves pressing page down whilst laying terrain, and it works with any terrain block, so gravel, stone, dirt, anything like that. So thanks for David Garnison for that tip, because I have used it extensively and I will continue to use it. And then we've actually got, where's my torches? Why do I not have them? There we go. Here we are. We've got a little bit further to go back here, and this is where I'm going to mine out another chamber. But what I thought I'd do today, because it occurred to me while I was doing this, or just as I was finishing this cabin, I thought, oh, hang on. I haven't even looked to see which directions the blocks are going. They might be diagonal, and they might go all the way like that. For all I know, the chances are they're not going to go straight in here whatsoever. But what the heck, we've got an enormous cavern, so what we can do is just use this space to build in. And so before I do any more mining, that is precisely what we're going to do. We're going to sort of try and map something out here. So what we want, we've got tons of stone. You can see I've set 2 chests up here. We've got one chest here, which currently contains a bit of wood and some iron, though nowhere near enough. We're not going to line the whole thing out with my metal, because that would be insane. And then we've got nearly 2 full sort of pages worth of stone here. So I'm going to get a load of stone. There we go. And we are going to make some blocks. Now, the other thing we should make a bunker out, of course, is concrete. And that one there looks sort of fairly bunker-esque to me. That said, we don't want it to look too dirty down there. We want it to be quite sort of... That's bunker-esque as well. We want it to be livable in and sort of high-tech looking at the end of the day as well. So we want some fairly smooth concrete. So maybe we want that one there. So let's use that one there, and I'm going to make an absolute ton of that. There we go. That's used all of that up, and we'll put some of that in our inventory here. I'll keep my pickaxe out because the chances are we're not going to be particularly. In fact, while we're at the top there, let's just see, because this is going to give us an idea. Now this is relatively straight, so that's actually good news. We're going to be able to build an entryway here, and that is what we're planning on doing. And then you can see we go down here actually pretty straight. Wow, how did I manage that? That's fairly incredible. And down here is more or less straight. This is a miracle, folks. Nothing more or less than a miracle. Okay, so we're going to map this roughly, vaguely out. We've got our little entranceway here, so let's just see. you can see how very not straight this all is, really. And again, I'm just doing this to map it out. I don't actually necessarily want my floor to be this concrete. So I'm just literally making the boundaries. This is what makes building underground so much more challenging than building above ground in this game. Because above ground, of course, you can see your blocks. There we go. There's an entryway. So that's kind of it. But maybe we want it to be one block bigger than that. I think we possibly do. There we go. One good thing, of course, about building underground is that stone is cheap. We have silly huge amounts of the stuff. There we are. So we now know that we need to take this bit out here as well. And at this point, I'm only going to be worrying about the floor. So I'm only going to worry really about the floor. Obviously, we've got to build this in sort of 3 dimensions down here, with sort of flooring plus, you know, sort of. There we are. And of course, we do have a sledgehammer. That is the other thing I've picked up. Hello, there it is. Sledgehammer and rake. I actually picked some of those up from another, from our lake house. So we've actually got what we need there. We can just pick blocks up. We can just pick blocks up and move them around. So it doesn't matter at all that we're sort of mapping things out here. So let's just have our sort of floorway there as well. Okay, so now we come to the central cavern. Now this isn't necessarily even going to be the level of the floor. It occurs to me the level of the floor is more sort of there, isn't it, in point of fact. But as I say, we're just mapping stuff out here. So we're going to have our doorway coming through there, of course. And then maybe it needs to be more like this. That's 7. Oh, and we've run out of blocks. And we're not going to be able to see those, actually, are we? Or remove. Oh, okay. Let's get my pickaxe on the job, because I need to be able to see these blocks. Okay, so what has become evident there is that I have mined out more or less on the level in here, but you can see now we've actually got some straight lines. I can see that I hadn't mined out very straight on this side, so actually what I've done is I've measured, so we've actually got 12 blocks either side of the door there, so this is symmetrical now. Whether the edges on the other side is symmetrical, I think it pretty much is, to be honest, but I've obviously got a bit more mining out to do on that side. But now we can see where the level surface is, and we can see whether this is the level of our floor or not. I might make it the level of our floor and have, yeah, it looks like that might be sensible. And have some steps going up there, and that's perfectly fine. That'll work fine. I don't have a problem with that. But now, yeah, now we've got some sort of, yeah, some straight lines in place, we can actually see how this is going to work. So this is going to be our main open plan area, and we're going to have 2, 3, maybe 4 rooms going off this as well. And another minor miracle is the fact that we haven't run into a cave, but caves don't seem to generate ever so well in this save anyway. So the placing blocks in here is obviously going to level the floor for us, and the walls and the ceiling ultimately as well. So that's going to solve a lot of problems for us. And we've kind of got a grid to work on now as well, so that when I do my mine, I'm going to be able to, you know, sort of see what I'm dealing with now, which is much easier. But what I thought we'd deal with in this episode is the entranceway. Not this bit here necessarily, though we will do that if we get the chance, if we have the time. What I'd actually like to do is construct, if you like, whichever verb you want to use, our entranceway here, and then sort of line out our stairway going down there. And so that is what I plan on doing. But first, I think we'll sleep. Just to be, you know, when you're underground, it doesn't actually make that much odds, to be honest. You don't actually absolutely have to, but I'm going to do it just because I like being RP, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Okay, so what we're going to do, we need to construct ourselves an entranceway here, and I just want a kind of a bulkhead affair here. So we're going to, again, probably concrete is the way to go here. Maybe some of the rougher stuff like this, or like that. Because it's exterior, I feel that having having a bulkhead kind of made out of that. Is bulkhead the right word? I'm not entirely sure it is. So we'll have the less clean stuff. Okay, let me just put some of these blocks that we're not using at the moment in there. That's perhaps going to be our default go-to concrete block, that one. Clang. I made metal chests because I thought we're going to be moving those into our base, into our bunker, and that's actually going to look sort of better in a bunker, of course. Now, this isn't going to be absolutely straight, but let's see, what kind of width do we want this to be here? Probably about that. We want it to be about like so. We're going to need to sort of... This is going to be slightly diagonal. We probably want it to be a little bit more than that, perhaps. More like so. And then sort of in from there. Let's just do that. It's going to... Yeah, and one more there. There we go. And, yeah, we're going to need to do that, aren't we? Because there we are. Okay, the other thing that I'd like to do, I guess, as I say, is sort of shape it a little bit. So let's just see. I want to get some ramp blocks like that. Let's just see how many of those can I make. Not ever so many, but that's okay. We don't need that many at the moment. Let's see how many we've got. 23, 28. Okay, let's just experiment with this. Now, if I turn that around like that, for example, and then if I took out that top one there and put in a ramp there as well. Oh, I can't even play. There we are. There we go. Kind of like that. There we are. What does that look like? Yeah, not bad actually. And we can put some slanted ones on the inside there as well. Which means we need to do the same on the other side. So that needs to come out. As does that, I think. Should I do that? I quite like the shape of that, but I don't think we're going to actually be able to do that, are we? So I'm going to have to do that. We've got, how many blocks? 3, 4. That's kind of perfect for our door. Now, I do have, and I'm assuming for that door we're going to need iron rods. Iron rods. So what I'm going to have to do is go and make sure that I'm going to have to make some iron rods. I'm going to go to the lake house, which is like there, make some iron rods and some iron plates and things just to make sure that we're well furnished, because we do not have. Maybe what I'll do is make an anvil actually. How do we make an anvil? Construction, seating, resources, crafting tables, crafting. I think they're in here, aren't they? Let's just see. Crafting stations, anvil, 24 iron ingots. Do you know what? It's probably going to be worth our while doing that, because we're going to need one here. So let's do that. Oh, look at that. How annoying. I've only got 23. Let's do that. Craft object. There we go. And yeah, we can place it just on some concrete blocks for the moment, because quite honestly, we can move that anytime we need to. We can move the blocks even. I don't need those bits of dirt right now. There we go. And that means that we're able to make whatever we need, doesn't it? That's much easier to deal with. Okay, iron plates. So we're going to make a few of those. There we are. And then we're going to need to make iron rods. Let's just make the max number. There we are. And then we should be able to make that door. Lovely. Okay. And then we also need, not doors, we need barriers. No, we need banister. Now we've got metal grates and grills. Okay, so we've got enough space here to place a door and, or rather our door and kind of a grill, a sort of a window as well. So that is what I'm planning on doing. That opens outwards, which is perhaps not what we wanted to do actually. Perhaps we'd rather have it open inwards. I don't know. Should it open outwards or should it open inwards? And should it be flush or should it be indented? Oh, the choices, choices. It should open inwards because it's going to be, the ground is going to be much more level on the inside than it is on the outside. Okay, and then we've got also this, and again, let's just have that like so. There we go. There we are, and there's our entrance. Okay, so as I say, now we're going to need our concrete blocks back again, and also, or some of them at least, and also let's just see if there's any other blocks that we want while we're at this, because I don't want the whole thing just to be plain old concrete, not really. So let's just see what other kind of blocks we'd like here. Now there is such a thing as concrete plates, isn't there? Which might look quite good as well. Concrete plates. Those ones are kind of striped. There's that there as well, which looks a bit more like house siding to me. Okay, so I think I've got our flooring and, well, various blocks decided upon now. And as I said before, we're going to be able to change our minds if we really want to. Because it's quite easy to take blocks out again. But first of all, we're just going to sort out the floor level in here so that we've at least got this area. And then we can see which bits of stone we actually need to mine out in order to even things off a bit. And obviously this bit here has got to be the first to go. Oh, and have I got some of those blocks still? Because I'm going to need to fill in this here. There we are. And how are we on the other side? The other side also needs these blocks filling in. I'll put one either side and they're nice and straight. As I say, eventually what we'll have here, of course, is I'll say straight, hey ho. What we'll have here eventually is electric lights either side of the gateway and electric lights inside as well. Obviously. Now I'm going to need my pickaxe there. We've got plenty of these blocks too. And that's going to be our flooring. Now we've got a lot of other blocks which we're going to put some of them away now. I don't think we need any more of those ones. And we're going to use these for flooring, but now I've got some blocks which I've got for the walls, and I've also got some of these metal blocks because I really want to be able to use those kind of around here somewhere, perhaps in a kind of a warning you are nearing the entrance kind of a way, and I just think that would be quite cool looking. So that's sort of my plan there. So let's just see. I need to make some steps, and I need to make stairs out of the same block as we've got the other flooring out of. So our flooring here is just concrete, and we need steps to be made out of that. What I might do is, we're not going to have stairs this wide, I don't think. So I don't know. Maybe it would look better if our stairs were symmetrical. It would, wouldn't it? It would look better if they were in the middle. So I will make them in the middle there, even though it's going to require a bit of work on my part to dig that out. So we're going to want the solid steps like that, and we're going to actually want loads of them, aren't we? So let's just make a load of those. There we go. And then I've kind of got my work cut out for me here, but what's new? Place one lot of stairs here, so that we can see roughly what we're about. Just place that there. There we go. And we just need these stairs to go down sort of reasonably straight, like that. And just kind of all the way down. And you can see I'm going to have to sort of change the direction of this tunnel somewhat anyway. And then we're going to have our stairs kind of going down like that. But yeah, that is going to require a bit of mining on my part, to say the least. So I'm going to pick up this torch and the torch holder because they're going to get in my way. And I'm going to get mining. And I will spare you guys the agony of watching this. With the power of the edit, it will all be done in a flash. For you at least. Well, there we go. It's quite a stairway, and obviously I've not finished off the walls around and about it yet either, but I have sort of sorted out our little entranceway here as well. So this is going to be our little antechamber. Again, going to do something a bit different with the floor there. We just marked it out with concrete for the moment. We've got some steps going up here. We're going to have a big door here, so probably a metal door, so like the nearest thing we can get to a bunker kind of secure door there. And then, yeah, this is going to be the main body of our bunker. And it's going to take a heck of a lot of doing, isn't it? Look at the size of that thing. Fills me with dread just to look at it. But one thing at a time. So what I want to do here, I think we've got our stairs going down the middle. What I'd like to have is sort of ramp blocks on either side of our stairs there. And I don't know, I'd like those to be sort of a contrasting, or maybe what we want is ramp blocks going up the other way, so that what we have going down here is sort of ramp blocks at the top, and then we have a sort of a lozenge shape. I'm not quite sure. Certainly the roof wants to be sort of this kind of shape going down if we can, but to be honest, I'm not sure we can do that. Actually, we're not going to be able to do that because it's not going to work going downwards. We're going to need the sloping ramp blocks to go down the centre there to give us an even slope ceiling above our heads, and that's what we're going to do. So yeah, we're going to have ramp blocks going down either sides of here, and then the walls are going to have to be flat, aren't they, from there? So that's what we're going to have to do. Now, either side of here, I don't know. I'd sort of quite like... As I say, what we've got for our walls here, we've got a type of concrete, but we've got concrete plates. So that's going to look a little bit different. I'm going to put these back in there because we don't need them now. And I've got these, which I'd like to use sort of near the top here. These are metal blocks. And I'm just thinking that they'd look quite good kind of inset into the wall here. So I'm just going to try that and see what it looks like that. And obviously we've got some stone clipping through there like that. You see, that looks quite good, I think, and that sort of gives you the impression, doesn't it, of hazard zone. You are now at the surface. So if I've got any more metal, let's see, metal, and it was in metal rather than metal plates. Now we're going to need a couple of ramp blocks here. There. Yep, there we go. And I don't know, maybe they look quite good, or something like that down either side of the stairs would look great, I think. But whether we've got enough metal to be able to do that, I don't know. Okay, so first and foremost, let's get these in place. We want that one there and this one there. There we are, lovely. And obviously we won't be able to see the edges from where we are. And then down either side, yeah, I think that would look good, but I don't know. Do we have enough metal? Can we justify the expense? I do want a lot of metal in here. That is kind of the idea. That is a point. But I am seriously going to have to grind some resources. Okay, well, let's just make a couple and see what they look like. So again, we want ramps. Really not had the opportunity to make ever so many metal blocks, or use ever so many metal blocks up to this point. So I'm going to place one there and one there. You see, that looks kind of cool. That said, maybe what we want is those ones there, because then that is red and white there, and then the rest of it probably just wants to be normal metal, not the red and maybe that, or just that even. Let's experiment with that. There, we've got two of those now. Let's see what that looks like. There. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do there. And then we've got the blocks for the walls, which are these ones. So let's just see what we're doing there. And again, with these, I would quite like some sort of a... But it struck me that I can't really, realistically, do anything very diagonal down here, because the only way you can do diagonal is with ramp blocks, and then you cannot place another block above that, so you can't do sort of half a diagonal with one colour block and another with it. It just doesn't work. So this is our sort of concrete plates that we have here, and what we could do is we could use concrete plates kind of halfway and then something else at the other level, but we would have to have it stepped like this, and then possibly, given we've got so many of these concrete blocks, we could just fill in the rest with that. And what would that look like? Not bad, actually. Not bad. Oops, that like that, and then I think it starts sloping down after that. So, do we have any ramps? I don't think we have any ramps at the moment, but I will make some. And then they need to start sloping down, possibly from there, possibly from just in front of there. So yeah, that's... and then I'm going to have various other blocks to take out en route, of course. And I'm just going to need to be a bit careful that I'm putting things in the correct positions. There we have it, folks. That's pretty much it. We have our entranceway there, complete with fully functioning door, which I just accidentally didn't click on. And we have our stairway here. Not exactly a stairway to heaven, but there you go. We've got the flooring mapped out in here as well, so we've got a nice even... That's slightly offset, but I don't choose to move that because I want that to actually be leading into the centre of our bunker, and it does currently, so I'll live with the fact that the entranceway is slightly wonky. I suppose... I could move the whole thing over this way a little bit if it bothered me that much, and I might do that. It's not going to cost me too much to do that. But in the meantime, I guess what we need to do really is sort out this area. Let's see. We need probably to continue with the theme we've already got and stick with these at this cut. Again, I can change my mind. It's a woman's prerogative. It's a person's prerogative, if you ask me, to change their minds if they want to. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put these blocks in for the moment. I quite like them, actually. I think they've got sort of a sort of a nice feel to them. I think they more or less do what we want them to do. There we go. It doesn't even matter if there's gaps behind the walls. Who's going to know at the end of the day? And if I decide to do this, we're going to have to move this over a little way in this direction, aren't we? Let's face it, I'm OCD enough. Let's do it. Let's have symmetry. If we're going to have a bunker, we may as well have precision. But basically, what I'm going to do, we're going to have something different for the flooring here as well, I think. We're not just going to have all this unrelieved concrete. We're going to make sure we've got as much variety around here as we can sort of manage. This isn't a particularly important part, obviously, of the base. This is just the entrance area. But nonetheless, I don't want everywhere to just be concrete, because that would be dull. And what I really want to do here is sort of let rip creatively with some of the blocks that we don't perhaps have the opportunity to use in some of our more conventional builds, shall we say. So how far this way are we going to have to go to get this straight? There we go. So with a little bit of mining, that's going to straighten that out. Of course, we're going to have to sort of change that slightly as well, like that, and get rid of the ones on this side. But the flooring's going to have to be dealt with anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much about that for the moment. That's for another time. The last thing we're going to do in this episode, we're just going to sort of try and tidy this area up here, and it looks a bit like a subway at the moment, doesn't it? Well, that's kind of good. That's sort of what we're going for, really. But now we've got this mapped out, we should be able to finish this off more or less. So that is where our wall is going to go, is it? Like this? Shut up, sheep. And yeah, I think this is going to be this width down here, which is how many blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. So 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, which means that the wall needs to be on this side at, that kind of, does it need to be here? I think it probably does. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it doesn't. It wants to be here, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. There. So actually, we probably want to do that. And then 1, 2, 3. I haven't even got enough of those blocks now. Oh, I do. I have plenty of them there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that's going to want to go there, isn't it? Like so. Okay, there we go. I think we've got enough light in here now. So we can see that I need to do a little bit more mining because we've got very uneven ceiling here, as you would expect. And the walls don't even go up quite far enough there because the stone clipping through getting in the way. So I've got a little bit more work to do here. Let's face it, I've got a lot more work to do here. But otherwise, we are more or less done here today, folks. So have I got the right blocks there? No, I haven't got the right blocks. Let's use the right blocks, that helps. Oops, sort of. There we go. So we've got some of it sorted out. And as I say, what I'm going to do off camera, I'm going to just finish off the ceiling in here. There we go. Which involves placing our... This is the flat portion of the ceiling here, and I'm not quite sure. I think we've got a corner, so we're going to be able to turn the sloping part of the ceiling around the bend. I think. So that should work okay. Let's just put this in for the time being, and then, yeah, we're going to need that like that as well. And then the plan is that it will continue around like this. And then we'll have a kind of a vaulted ceiling. And we'll probably do the same in the bunker, to be honest, because it's going to look quite good that way. There we are. Okay, so that's looking good so far. I hope you guys agree. I'll take that bit out. It's clipping through as well. And yeah, so we're going to leave this episode here. Again, I'm not entirely sure how long this episode is actually going to be. It's always difficult when you're doing a lot of editing to judge whether your episodes are too long, too short. Usually I aim for about half an hour, so apologies if it's a bit of a random length. That's builds for you. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you like the way the place is shaping up. Don't forget to let me know. Always love to hear your comments and feedback, suggestions, etc. Oh, it's nighttime. You just can't tell in a bunker. Yeah, keep your comments coming and your suggestions, and also feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I hope you guys will join me for the next episode of our bunker build. Until then, keep gaming, keep surviving, and stay happy. Bye bye for now.